Pretzels, it's the end of the starting soon song, and you know what that means. What is up, gamers? Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Happy time zone to you, and good Monday. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm certainly having a day. But I'm very happy to be here. Hello. This is what we're paying. Oh my god, why is this cutting mat is... It's the camera. The camera is on the wonk, and I do not know how to shift it, so I have to, like, shift my mat, which is actually, like, appropriately angled, but it doesn't look like it. Anyways, getting camera angles right on this thing is a real pain in the backside, but, you know, we'll deal. Anyways, this is what we're working on today. It's Terry the Forg Mage. Let me bring you in a little bit closer. It's Terry the Fork Mage, and he's just reading a cozy little book in his cozy little chair. And he's got his cozy bookshelves over here and a cozy little shelf up here. I'm still not sure if I've given this piece enough visual details for it to feel cozy and interesting. And the more I look at it, we might have to add more stuff. Because I feel like there are some areas that just feel a little bit... I mean, it might just be that it's just not painted in yet, so you can't tell. But I feel like we could have more. There could be more things happening here. Is this a mistake? I don't know. One of my paints has been flipped upside down. That's a mistake. There we go. Let me get these all lined up nice and tidy. This is the paint set that we were working with today. Oh, Yusuf, you can just go away. You can just go directly to away. Do not pass go. Do not collect anything at all. Certainly no cheap viewers. We have no cheap viewers here. Only viewers of absolutely maximum value, of course. Anyways. But yeah. We're gonna channel some coziness. We're gonna hopefully have a nice time. We're gonna chillax and feel somewhat uncomfortably warm, but that's okay. I'll work through that. Anywho, in the meantime, how's everybody doing? How are your Mondays? How are you going? It's lovely to be here. I have my I do have a tea. I do have a tea, but I do also have this bad boy, which is exactly what it says on the tin. It's just sour cherry juice. And I don't know where it comes from, but I know it's delightful. It comes from Kosovo. There we go. Anyways, but I really like it because it's just cherry juice and it's like a pound. Woof. And, not popular enough in this country, cherry juice, because it is damn delicious. Anyways, how's everybody else doing? Hope you're having good Mondays. Hope you had good weekends. I had an interesting, Friday, in as much as I finally went out and ran some errands that I'd been meaning to do for a little bit, but, finally had an opportunity to do so. And I just had the funnest little encounter in a W.H. Smith's trying to buy some Lego minifigures and Warhammer Combat Patrol issue 1. I'm gonna open my window real quick because it is quite stuffy in here and I'm feeling a little bit, I don't know, the temperature's been sort of really quite sort of more extreme levels of up and down than it has been in a while. Over the last, like, week or so, I would say. Maybe a little less than that. And it has left my whole body feeling really out of sorts and not great. And probably come down with something, if being perfectly honest. Which, also not great. But, hoping a little air circulation might help with that. Because, it's just stuffy enough in here that suddenly I'm feeling, like, the sweats. And it's not nice. Anywho. But yeah, so I was in a W.H. Smith's buying some Lego minifigures and Warhammer Combat Patrol issue 1, which is apparently very, very hard to find, so I'm very glad that I found it. But there were a couple people ahead of me in the queue, because I couldn't, the Warhammer thing was behind the counter, and there were little, like, security locks on the Lego minifigures, so I couldn't do any of that from the self-checkout, so I had to go to the one till that had a person on it, and there was a bit of a queue for that one. And there was like an older couple ahead of me in the queue, and then right behind them in the queue, directly in front of me, was just this beetle that was about, or some kind of a beetle, or maybe like a stink bug type thing, but it was about that big. Very, very politely standing in the queue behind this older couple and in front of me. And as they shuffled forward, it shuffled forward a bit. But I think it must have forgotten something, because it wandered off by the time it was its time to get up to the till. So I didn't have to wait for it to painstakingly attempt to communicate whatever it wanted to purchase. But yeah, that was a fun little encounter. Just this little buggy that was just going about its buggy business, queuing ahead of me at WH Smith. It was very, very cute. Anywho, this is the paint we're using for this piece, which is a nice little, I feel like very sort of autumnal / wintry rainbow of colors. I took my sort of basic set of rainbow and combined each one with a set amount of this one, which is Lunar Red Rock, which is this color you see down here, which I just think is such a gorgeous, like, warm, muted red. And I think it's made, I think it makes all the other colors look more interesting, honestly. Of all of them, I would say, like, this one is probably the least different, and this green is just so hard to alter because it is so heavily, vibrantly pigmented. It's crazy. But it was also the only green that I could find in the range that I was buying from that was pretty light fast and also not very yellow or very blue, and I wanted something that was very sort of like the middle of green for this set, and that's what I ended up with. A green that just kind of overpowers everything you try and mix into it. And this is, I think this is the strongest color I have tried to mix into this set, and even now, like, the green barely wants to be altered. It definitely is. It's a little bit deeper. It's a little bit more muted by having its sort of complement stirred into it, but it still really dominates. So for instance, this greenish bookshelf here, I had to add a lot of, like, brown and orange into it to get it that subtle of a green. And even then, you can kind of see around the edges some vague sort of artifacts of that very bright green poking out, which I'm fine with, because I feel like having the very sort of, like, granular mottledness of this brownish green stain on the bookshelf, I feel like gives it a nice kind of what's the word, like, weathered look. Like, it looks like it's been existent for a time. To that end, oh, pretzels. I didn't put the cap back on my brush the last time I used it. That's okay. I think I had intended to use it on Saturday, and then I ended up spending my entire Saturday doing off-stream art sessions sketching anyways. Ooh, do you want to see what Chat, do you want to see what I've been sketching? Do you want to see what I've been sketching? Okay, I'm gonna show you. This is really stupid. Is really stupid, but a lovely friend of the channel named Aoife shared this photo of a strawberry that they had that was shaped so much like a bear that it looked like it was a very bear shaped strawberry, and so I drew that because I was like, oh no, I have to draw a strawberry bear now, so I drew this. And then, I kind of just drew an entire community of strawberry bears. And I kind of love them a lot. Hey, best viewers. Why don't you get in the bin? Okay, that's better. Anyways. So, I made a little blueberry bear. And I made a little raspberry. And I made a little gooseberry. And I made a little cloudberry. And I'm debating what other berry I want to do as a bear, because I feel like I could probably fit one more on this sheet of paper. And I can't decide what berry it should be. It could be a blackberry, it could be a cranberry, it could be a lingonberry. There's a lot of very specific, like, regional berries that you don't see a lot of outside of their sort of, like, specific areas, like Marion berries, sort of, which I think are sort of Pacific Northwest, like America. Salmon berries, Saskatoon berries, which you might guess by the name are native to around Saskatoon in Western Canada. That kind of thing. So I'm not sure what to do. I don't want to do a berry that I've never eaten. Mulberries, that's a fun one. There's the dark colored mulberries and the white mulberries. My grandmother used to have a neighbor who had a mulberry tree. And that was so nice. Because when they were in season, the mulberry tree that overhanged, I don't know, my grandmother's yard. It just meant like handfuls of free mulberries, and they were really delicious. Oh, goodness gracious. Fresh mems. Fresh mems indeed. Okay, I'm just filling my water cup because I realize I had not done that before Strim. So I'm just going to very carefully fill her up. And we're going to get to painting. Squish, 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 squish. There we go. Alright, cool. Anywho. Where can I pop this water bottle safely without knocking anything over? Ugh. My moderator / spouse paints Warhammers, so there is just an absolute butt ton of little Citadel paint pots over here. Where's oh, this is one of my favorite colors. This is Croxigore Scales, and of course I know exactly what that is. What's another nice one? Oh, this one's Luxion Purple. Gorgeous. And everyone's favorite, Volupus Pink. Why not? Hey, Aoife, how's it going? Welcome on in. How are you doing? Hello, hello, hello. Lovely to see you. Welcome on in. We were just talking about berries and thinking about berries. I'm just thinking about berries. Anyways, how are you doing? I hope you're having a lovely Monday. I hope you had a good weekend as well. It is very, very, very good to see you, and welcome in. I am gonna put another, I think, glaze of color. I think I'm gonna put another glaze of color over sort of the backs of the bits of the bookshelf behind the books, so that they really stand out when I color them in. And we will be coloring them all in! Yay! Aoife says, nowadays I think they don't even grind real grox nor scales anymore. Oh my goodness. Like, the lack of care and artistry on display is really sad. You know. Truly is. And it's not like the price has gone down either. I'll be honest, I really don't know what a Croxigore scale is. If anyone wants to fill me in on the lore, I'm always interested to know. Like, I remember, I have done a little bit of Warhammer painting, obviously, because there's so much of it in the house. How could I avoid it? But there is a very useful color that's used for, like, it's used for, like, shading and that kind of thing, but it's called Nuln Oil, and I did at one point eventually just ask, okay, if it's called Nuln Oil, it has to be like the oil made out of something something called a Nuln, right? And I think I learned that actually it's oil that comes from a place called Nuln, and the lore ended up being less interesting than the one I made up in my head, which is that, like, it comes from the seeds of the Nuln tree or something. You know, like olive oil. Anyways. But there's so much lore, and that's more my partner's bag than mine, so don't ask me. Eva says, I broke my PC. Oh no, frowny faces. We hate that for you. But found out that I can actually be productive when my PC is broken. We love that for you. So now my place is cleaner and more organized than it was in at least 20 years. Damn, dude, that's amazing. Also, I fixed my PC, so I'm back to good and proper procrastination. Well, welcome back. But that all sounds really stressful, and I'm glad that the ordeal has more or less concluded itself, because that's a stressful situation, and I did not love that for you. Okay. I'm gonna start from this end. I'm gonna realize that there is not a lot of... I watered this paint way too far down, and I don't think that it's gonna give me as much of a glaze as I was hoping for, so I'm gonna have to add more paint to it. Oh no. I mean, we want to build up layers, but we also want those layers to each be somewhat discernible, I think. Otherwise, I'm spending a lot of time on this. And I mean, I'm gonna be spending a lot of time on it anyways, but I want the time that I spend to feel somewhat productive. So let me try that again. Okie dokie. It's nice and... There we go. Okay. That feels more like it. I just want to try and darken this down just a smidge more. I want to have a nice amount of depth to it. There are certain paints where, like, no matter how many layers you put on, it just doesn't seem to want to get any darker. I had that with an ink that I thought would be quite a deep shade of blue, I think. And I would put a layer down and I'd be like, oh damn, that's too dark. I put too much. Oh no, it's going to be super dark. And then, it would just dry down and like 50% of it would completely disappear, which was, honestly quite deeply frustrating. I ended up not being able to get the depth of color that I wanted from that ink. But that was all very learning experience. Speaking of ink, Stream Ink is coming in a few weeks. I'm nervous, but you shouldn't be. I'm nervous because I'm one of the featured streamers again this year, which means I have a day to host, so I have to figure out what I'm painting on that day. And that day is reasonably early in the month. I chose a fairly early day this year. And I will pop a little info about it on the in the chat there if you want to check out Stream Ink and what the deal is and the prompt list and all that jazz. Oh heck, Aoife says, first I was so depressed and I didn't know what to do with myself. Then I made a bootable USB drive at my mom's, but then I started cleaning. To be honest, I was kind of afraid that it was a bigger problem than I thought it might be, so I kept cleaning. I would say all in all a good week. It sounds like a very productive weekend. Like, good job on the productivity. I'm trying to remember what I did this weekend, and, well, I did a dungeon, and, oh yeah, it was kind of a weird weekend, because supposedly there was some post being delivered on the Saturday, which is the day that normally my partner and I would go out and run errands. But supposedly there was some post being delivered. So we figured one of us needs to go out and do the errands and the other one will wait for the postie to arrive. The postie never came. There was just no post on that day, actually. So my sweetheart waited inside all day for no reason. I went out and picked up sort of the essential bits that we needed for that evening. And that was that. But then we still had to go out on Sunday to do like our regular grocery shop, and so we did that as well. But I'll be honest, I pretty much spent the entire weekend just absolutely, utterly bone tired, exhausted. So my ability to get much done other than that was basically nil. I did do a bit of artwork for Patreon, who get the occasional exclusive sketch from me. But that was about all I managed to muster on the weekend in terms of the getting stuff done. And also managing just sort of general stuff arising from the recent shop update, which launched on Friday the 13th, because I am a very, very dramatic person like that. There's a link to the shop in the chat if you are interested to see what kind of fun shenanigans have been released unto the world. by yours truly. They are available to look at and or acquire there if you felt so inclined to do so. No pressure, obviously. I'm just glad you're here to hang out, but if you do want stuff, you can do that. But yeah, it was pretty much just a tiredness weekend for me, I think. I did make Hungarian crepes for dinner yesterday. Had them with some disappointing jam. For clarity, the jam was not homemade, it was shop bought, and I had really been looking forward to this jam. It was rhubarb, strawberry, and vanilla jam. Do you not think that sounds delicious if you are an enjoyer of any of those things? Because I am an enjoyer of all of those things. And I would have thought that they would have made a delicious jam together. But the presence of vanilla in the jam was so overpowering that I would not have been able to tell. If you had blindfolded me and said, what fruit is in this jam, I would not have been able to guess. Which is really sad. And it was not a good jam. So I wanted to finish up that jam basically and just get rid of it. But neither of us enjoyed putting it on toast. So I thought, well, if I make some Hungarian crepes, I can put it on those, and those are already like so delicious that, you know, a little bit of jam I think will a little bit of not the best, but slightly vanilla-y jam I think will work well with them. And yeah, it was still kind of just mid. It's not great. That sounds great, yes, says Eva, hell yeah. Although, to be honest, I'm not much of a rhubarb fan. I don't mind it, but I don't necessarily seek it out. Oh boy. If there's ever any rhubarb that comes into your possession and you don't want it, you can send it in my direction. 'Cause this little creature loves rhubarb so much. It's one of my favorite flavors. I think it's so good. I'm very grateful to be living in a country that does rhubarb more than the country that I'm from. But that being said, I've also experienced some of the rhubarb that they had in Denmark, and damn, best rhubarb juice I've ever had in my entire existence. The rhubarb beverages we have in this country pale in comparison. I don't want to move to Denmark. I just wish I could bring back beverages from there when I go visit. Anyways, Sammy Ann, hi. Welcome in. Hello. It's lovely to see you. How are you doing? Sammy Ann says, are you doing more books on shelves? I am doing more books on shelves. I'm doing these books on shelves. I'm doing these books stacked next to the shelf. I'm doing a mysterious grimoire that is on top of the bookshelf because it is to be kept out of reach of people because it contains powerful magics, and I'm doing a book in Terry's hands here. Also, good time zone to you too. Beverage imports, says Saviet. Hell yeah. I mean, we do get some imported beverages in this country. I remarked earlier that this sour cherry juice comes from Kosovo. So, and it is one of my favorites. It's very, very good. But I do wish I could get the good rhubarb juice that was genuinely amazing. Now, I had come into this cafe from the pouring rain. So I might have been a little bit biased because of that, but damn, that rhubarb juice was amazing. But also Tuborg squash. If anybody happens to encounter Tuborg squash in their travels and wants to send me a bottle, I would be cool with that. Anyways. Eva says, honestly, I think all the books being painted here is what makes me feel so at home here. Oh, thank you. That was very sweet. I'm glad to be a purveyor of some cozinesses. Sammy Ann says, I love it. I know how you cramped the hand, Scott. Oh, sorry. I know how cramped the hands got on the last one. Just a smidge. I mean, you know what? I feel like it's worth it. I feel like it's worth it because, I don't know about y'all, but it brings me joy to overburden myself with book painting. It's a nice time, actually. And it's quite cozy. I'm still I don't know. I think the painting just feels empty because, like, so much of it is white. I think once it's no longer white, it's not gonna, this amount of stuff on the page is not gonna feel not enough. Um, but for right now, yeah, it just feels like there isn't enough stuff on the page. But I'm gonna try coloring in some more bits, at least, like, a little bit, and see if I feel a little bit better about the general colored inness. Do we need out from Sainsbury's, asks my love. Hello, sunshine. I love you so much, and I'm going to give you a big hug when you come home, so could you please bring me back a big hug from Sainsbury's? Other than that, I think we're okay. Thank you. Anyways, for anyone who isn't familiar, Sledge Callier there is my moderator / spouse. Hence, the love yous and stuff. I think it's fair to say, kind of a damn sap when it comes to my person, who I love very, 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 very dearly. Okay, how do I want to do this plant? Do I want to just do some greenness, or do I want to maybe, actually, I'm gonna underpaint it with a little bit of the yellow. Because I think the green is just a little bit too crazy. But also there's a lantern here, so it's gonna be picking up some funky little highlights. Cool, about to jump on a bus, so we'll see you later, babe. Thank you, sunshine. I love you. Mwah. Anyways, sorry. That got a little too sappy, but here we are. Welcome to my sap. I don't know. I'm hoping that the combination of this plus that green will give a good greenery with some nice highlight-y stuff. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how we get on with that. What next? I mean, I could start painting in all of these millions of books. I don't know if I want to do another pass of sort of the backs of the shelves, though. I might do. But I want them to be, like, fully dried down before I give it another go, because otherwise I'll just lift what I've just put down, and I don't really want to pick up what I've just put down, because I just put it down, for crying out loud. I guess there's also the question of what color is the floor, which I know this is going to sound crazy considering how brown this painting is so far, but the floor is going to be brown too. It's very much just going to be, this is a brown piece. Apart from Terry, who's green, but, there's a lot of brownness happening here. Probably some blue violetishness coming in from the evening blue hour sky outside. I might really lean into sort of its blue hour out there and make it quite deep blue with maybe some little twinkling stars up in the... you might not be able to see those. I don't know. I haven't gotten there yet. I haven't decided. We'll figure out what's outside the window when we get to it, okay? And we are absolutely not there yet. So, I'm switching brushes, and I'm going to paint in the floor, which is going to be brown. Because I feel like it. And because I can. Anyways, but yeah. Had an interesting Friday. So, oh, yeah, Friday. I got, so as you may know, I was out of town for a few days, a few weeks ago, and my camera had gone missing. I had lost my camera. It was found. I was able to retrieve it when I got back to my city of residence, but there was the entire period that I was out of town in a very picturesque European city. I was not able to take film photos with my film camera, and I was very upset about this. So when I was at the airport, I purchased a terrible, cheap, single-use camera. And when I say cheap, I mean it was, I want to say about 20 quid. So not cheap at all, actually. Quite expensive, I think, for a cheap piece of crap single-use camera. You can get, like, a proper multi-use camera for not that much more than that. And yet here I was buying a cheapo piece of crap single-use camera. And my genuine hope and dream with this camera was that it would at the very least produce... I knew it was going to produce bad photos, but my genuine hope is that it would produce interestingly bad photos instead of, like, boring bad photos. Because interestingly bad photos are still cool and fun and interesting. And the kind of photography in general that I really enjoy. Whereas boring bad photos are just not very good. And friends, I am so pleased to report that having gotten the film back, I would say it produced interesting bad photos, and I'm very happy with them. Do you want to see a couple? Do you want to see a couple? Okay, one second. Don't. I'll be back in a sec. Oh goodness gracious. Oh, fun stuff. Oh, I'm procrastinating so well on the getting done of this painting. Oh, can you believe to learn? We're gonna go on a quick tour of some of my photography. Speaking of photography, I've got a roll of film that I need to get developed from, like spring, mostly springtime, I think. But annoyingly, I put it somewhere very sensible so that I would be able to pick it up on my way out the door on my way into the city one day to get it developed. Do I know where I very sensibly and safely put it so that I would be able to pick it up and take it out the door on my way? No! It's completely vanished from the house. I have no idea where it's gone. It's very sad and I'm very concerned. I know it's here someplace, but I could not, for the life of me, tell you where. And I hate it. Struggles. Oh. Cheese. A pizza. Anyways. I've just realized a couple of bits of this negative have actually just slid themselves out of the little, like, sleeve that they give you. And okay, there we go. I could not get them to go back in. Not that I ever really do anything with the negatives anyways. Not that I ever really do anything with my photography anymore. I used to, like, exhibit my photographs and do all kinds of stuff, and I just don't now, which is a little sad, but, like, I feel like maybe I should, but, of course, the first shot on the roll is a Tren. Hello, Tren. This was literally the view out of my hotel room window. It was a Tren. It was very fun. The trains go like every 3 minutes or so, at the good times, so it was hopping. There was a lot of trains. Thankfully at night there was not so many trains. But we still had to close the window because otherwise the train sounds were quite noisy. But, anyways, guess where I've been? Guess where I've been? It's the place that is every photograph of this city. Guess where I've been? This photo's my favorite. Anyways, you get the idea. I honestly actually think that these photos turned out pretty okay, and I'm very, very, very relieved about that. There's some of them are more interesting than others, which is pretty normal. I did struggle with the fact that it is not a single lens reflex, so what you see in the viewfinder is not necessarily what you are going to be taking a photo of, because there is that gap between the viewfinders up here and the lenses here, so always, I always find myself trying to ever so slightly correct for that, but it's an imperfect system because you don't fully know what is going to actually end up in your final composition. So you kind of have to take a bit of an educated guess and hope for the best, which, I'm kind of used to after having been doing photography for, 25 years? God, I'm old. But yeah, sometimes I feel a bit out of practice as a photomatographer. But that's just because I am. I'm very out of practice, actually. Okay, mahogany brown. Can we please have some lovely, lovely mahogany brown here? Cool. Okay. And, you know, just to keep things interesting, mahogany brown plus a little bit of this chromium orange hue, I think. Just for funsies. Just blend that in a smidge. And, because I'm feeling spicy, a little bit, what if a little bit of cadmium yellow whatever? I forget what the name of this color originally was. Yellow something. And just to keep it real, because I'm feeling spicy, cobalt blue deep. What hath we just made? Shall we find out? What am I even doing? I don't know. What? I'm doing a what happens if you just take every color you have and mix them all together. Guess what, friends? You get brown. Yay. No, but seriously, that's pretty good, actually. Maybe a smidge more of you blue. Which I feel like I hadn't actually picked up a lot of. Ooh, yes. Good. Good, good, good. Okay. Gonna start with just a little pre-run, and then we'll do like a second coat. I want this floor to feel lived in and loved, but also well looked after. And if I can strike that kind of balance, I'll be a pretty happy camper, I think. Anyways. Here we go. I'm really hoping that the more just colors I put down, the more I feel like this piece has the right amount of stuff in it, because I keep looking at it and going, do I need to add more things? Does there need to be more things in this piece? And realistically, there really probably doesn't. I think I'm just letting my thoughts get away from me a little bit here. Which they sometimes do. But also sometimes it's just really hard to gauge what a piece is going to look like when you're only partway through it, you know? You can do a sketch, you can have your little ideation station inside your head, try and figure out what it is that's gonna happen, but you're not really gonna know until you do it. And sometimes things go exactly as you expect, sometimes things just really deviate from that in ways that you didn't predict. Maybe that's just I'm not a good enough artist for it to not go that way for me, but it does kind of, and that's okay. That's the fun of it. Alright, let me give this another stir. One of the things I find really fun about this is that when I've got like a really wet mixture of like multiple pigments, I do notice the way in which certain pigments will kind of are denser than others, like some of them are heavier than others. You'll notice the mix sort of as the water kind of sits there with all of that paint in it, certain colors will kind of appear on the top and some of them will kind of disappear until you kind of stir them together, which is really interesting and very, very, very fun, and it's how you end up with these interesting sort of color shifts and very dynamic mixtures, which is such a good time, and I love it. And this is, oh, this brown is so nice, and this is feeling almost but not quite chocolatey, like a nice cozy cup of Milo or something. I've been getting, now that the weather is kind of turning towards autumnal, I've been drinking Milo several mornings a week as a cozy morning beverage. And I don't know, I find it a very nostalgic drink. It's kind of Ovaltine like. It's technically got vitamins and minerals in it, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's quote unquote good for you, you know. But it's pleasant. It's a pleasant experience. Alrighty. We have ourselves the beginnings of a floor here, I think. Hopefully that'll dry down looking interesting and cozy. And then we've got the different colors doing different things and making it, just giving it a little bit more dimension, really. Got a couple bubbles in the paint doing weird stuff as well, but you know what, I'll just let those do what they want, and we'll see how that looks in the end. Whom's to knows? Does anyone remember what colors I mixed up to make the color of this chair? Because I'm going to need to do that again when I come to shading it, and I genuinely cannot remember. So, whoops. Oh no. Well, that's, you know, that is whatever it will be, I suppose. Oh, beans. Okay. Alright. I'm taking a sip of my beverage. Actually, no, you know what? I'm taking a sip of both of my beverages because I've got a second beverage. I also have my tea. Casa! I'm here drinking my new tea. Ooh, what's it like? What's it like? Also, hi, how are you? Welcome on in, it's lovely to see you. Hello, hello. Oh, pretzels. One thing I do notice about this brown is that now the chair legs kind of blend in. Turnip, thank you very much for the lurk. Have a lovely, lovely lurk. Thank you, thank you. Casa says it's cinnamony. Oh, that sounds very nice indeed. I like a cinnamony tea. I've been enjoying the spicy teas. I love that for you. I hope you are enjoying that flavor. That sounds so nice. Good stuff. My tea today is mint, and my juice is sour cherry. And yes, I have both of them, which is very cool of me. Not that I necessarily think that... I don't think of cherry and mint when I'm thinking of, like, flavor pairings. I just really wanted mint tea, and I had cherry juice in the fridge. So it's like, okay, yes, these are my two beverages for now. When you think about having a fizzy orange beverage, you think about it in the fridge as well.
Oh hell yeah, Casimir's just subscribed.
Anonymous? Anonymous gifter, thank you so much. Thank you so much for gifting a sub to Casa. That's very, very sweet. Thank you so much indeed. Incredibly kind. Casa, enjoy your emotes and stuff. And thank you again, Anonymous. You absolute sweet pea of a human being. Thank you, thank you. Oh my goodness. Heck. I'm all a fluster now. Because I also thought that's what made me realize that my speakers were muted. I'm gonna whack that up so I can hear anything else that happens. Oh my goodness gracious, I'm a professional streamer. I swear to gosh. Oh, heavens to Betsy. Okay. What do I want to paint in next? Do. Yeah. I'm gonna paint the little potto that these plants come in. And again, I think I'm gonna start with just a little bit of the yellow. Because it is right next to the light. So it's probably gonna pick up a little bit of it. And then we will apply some nice shade.
Oh hell yeah, Marvin Rolls Nat 1S just subscribed. Soundcheck Mic 2 Kiwi Mic 2 done.
Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Marvin! Thank you very much for the sub. Thank you for the sound check. That did indeed.
Oh hell yeah, turn up the dial just subscribed. Let's join in. 3.
Let's join in. 3. Thanks for that, TTS Nicole, our beloved wombat narrator, and thank you very much, Turnip, for the sub. Thank you, and thank you also, Marvin. How y'all doing? Lovely to see you. Welcome on in. Thank you for the hype train. Oh my goodness. You lovely people. I very much appreciate it. I still need to really do some official art for TTS Nicole, I feel like. I know what she looks like inside my head, but I also don't know how competent I am at drawing wombats. But we have established that she is a wombat, and she takes her job very seriously, and she's a very nice lady. And as with all wombats, I assume that when she does her business, it's cube-shaped, which is just the wildest animal fact to me. It's how. I don't want to know how, because that's none of my beeswax. But thank you for the subs and the hype train and all that lovely stuff. You are wonderful people. I very much appreciate it. And thank you very much indeed. Hee hee. Anywho, I'm going to take a sip of my beverage. Oh my goodness. Smiling makes my face hurt now. So I'm also going to disappear for a second to go get myself some ibuprofens. I'll be back in just a moment. Hold your horses, everybody. Heck! Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. Proofins. Where are you? Okay. Anywho, hi everybody. Marvin says I will hide in the shadows as usual, but couldn't resist the sound check. Oh, thank you very much for the sound check. I really appreciate it, and enjoy hiding in the shadows. It's a nice place to be. I hope you enjoy whatever you get up to in the shadows. Thank you again. That was very kind. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So I had a bit of an ordeal earlier. I had to go out to post a letter. And I don't know if anybody else has this thing, but when I'm just leaving the house, I don't want to have to interact with other people necessarily. I just want to get out and kind of get into the zone. If I'm just popping out to like post a letter or something like I was just now, or just before stream started, I'm really not in the right brain space. I'm not in like people social brain space. I'm still in like house brain space because I'm just popping out and then popping back. And that's, if I was to try and get into people brain space, it would just take way too much prep for something that is going to take a cumulative like 10 minutes tops, right? So when I could hear someone in either my building or an adjacent building doing some drilling in a corridor, I was like, oh god. Am I gonna have to interact with a builder? No. Thank goodness. They were gone by the time I left, but I was so scared that I was gonna have to interact with a human being. Casa!
Casamuse cheered. X100. Hype.
Casa, thank you very much for the 100 biddies. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my goodness gracious. Thank you so much. That was very, very, very sweet. Thank you for the level 2 hype train. Oh my gosh. Thank you. It was very, very sweet. Marvin says, shadows are life. Shadows are love. As someone who really abhors sun exposure, I wholeheartedly agree with that assessment. Indeed, indeed. And thank you, Casa, for the biddies. I very much appreciate them. This is ibuprofen, which is about to go in my mouth. So, one moment, please, chat. Anywho. Right. Shall I attempt to do some paints? Should I try and do some painting? I could try and do some painting if y'all wanted. I'm happy to make the attempt anyways. I could reglaze this again, but I don't know if I just want to leave it for a little while longer. Maybe we'll come back and have a look at this little plant pot and the plant matter around it. So we have I did a little sort of yellow layer of underpaint that I wanted to try and just do a little soft green on top of it and see how we got on. Cass says, I left the house earlier and had to interact with people. Whoa! You are so brave, and you should feel very, very proud. Because that is no small feat, and it is an adventure, and I'm very proud of you for doing it, and I'm sure you did very good. Good job. Hell yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Does anyone else find this that, like, leaving the house and interacting with people is something you kind of have to be prepared for? I'm not good at just sort of, oh, I'm just going to go out on a whim these days. Or if I am going to go out on a whim these days, I need to know that it's going to be, like, I'm going out on a whim, but I'm going to be sitting quietly on a bus listening to a podcast for most of it, which feels a little bit better. You know, I do appreciate sort of a bit of social interaction. It can kind of make me feel good sometimes, but other times it just is kind of draining, and I kind of feel bad afterwards. So, especially when it's unexpected or not planned by me, I would say. Went to doctor, got injected, says Casa. Oh my goodness. Well, I hope that whatever it is that they have put in you is going to improve your health in some way. I assume that's the purpose of it. And good job for getting it done. Also, very brave stuff. Genuinely not my favorite thing to do, but sometimes very important. So glad you did it, and hope that it helps whatever it is supposed to help with. Hell yeah. Speaking of, I have a date, as you may or may not know. I have to have a day job so that I can continue to afford to live, unfortunately. But my day job a couple of years ago did have, like, we could go get, like, flu jabs and stuff, and last year I didn't get any notification that there were, like, flu jab appointments available, and I haven't had any notification about flu jab appointments available this year, and I'm getting a little bit grumpy about it, because it's like, damn it, I come from, okay, so this is just me having, like, an immigrant rant, I suppose, but I come from a country where everyone just gets a flu jab as standard. So not getting one feels really weird to me. But never mind. I suppose I can just try not to get sick, which is what I general rule of thumb anyways, is try not to get sick. But there we are. Anywho. But yeah. What was I saying? Try not to get sick. Jabs. All that jazz. Yes. All of them. That was a hype train. Thank you so much, everyone, for the hype train. I have received a hype treasure chest. I'm opening my treasure chest. What did I get? I got an emote. Wow. It's very cute. Thanks for the hype train, friends. I really appreciate it. That was very, very sweet. Thank you, thank you. Have officially made my day. Thank you. Goodness gracious. Anyways, and it feels, honestly, I realize I think it's random, but the fact that I got a froggy emote just feels very, I don't know, like a really good lazy code moment, I feel like. So thank you to the universe for giving me another frog emote. Anyways, thank you very much, Turnip, and have a lovely continuing lurk. Thank you, thank you. Now I'm gonna have a sip it. delicious. Delightful. Oh, my joints are unhappy with me. But that's okay. Alright. Can I get some more shadowiness onto these little leafies? I just feel like they probably want to be a little darker. Especially the bits that are kind of obscured. Okay, cool. We've got some weird leaves happening up there, which I like. And I need to decide what color I want the rest of this plant pot to be. I'm thinking, you know what I'm thinking? Sometimes I just decide that I want to use a color because I haven't used a lot of it in a piece. So I'm going to use this violet, which is maybe kind of a weird choice, but why not? It can have like a violetish glaze to that potto. Why not, indeed? So that's exactly what I'm going to do. And it is quite a warm violet, because this whole palette is quite warm, so I think that'll be fine. And I might just do it as a bit of a... I like the idea of it having sort of one of those nice sort of stoneware-y gradients, where there's kind of layers of... Excuse you? There's kind of layers of darkening glaze as we go down the pot. I think could look quite cute. I hope. Anyways. So yeah, I think that could be quite fun. So I'll wait for that to dry for a second and take a sip of my tea while I do. And, yeah. What's everybody up to this week? Does anyone have interesting plans coming up this week? I'm trying to think if I do, and no. I have a stream ink to continue planning for, which is next month's 31-day art prompt extravaganza, which I think will be a lot of fun. I'm very excited. I've got some ideas churning for a number of the prompts for the prompt list. I have not sketched anything out yet, and since I am hoping to do all 31 days, that's making me start to panic a little bit. So, but it's fine. This is a no pressure challenge for fun and for free, and all are welcome to participate and do as much or as little, as they would like to. So, no press. And no press on me either. I need to stop imposing it. Because that's a silly of me. There we go. Got a little bit of a gradient glaze going on this pot, but I want to add some shading to it as well once that's dry. But that's going to take a minute to dry, so I may as well look at other pieces of the painting in the meantime, I suppose. Do I want to, actually, yeah. Sorry. Talking to myself, asking myself questions, and then just answering the questions myself again. I do apologize. I'm gonna mix up some of this black, and I'm gonna add just another, hopefully fairly thin layer of deepening dark onto the back of the bookshelf. And I think this is probably the last one that we need. I think I'll leave it after this. But I want a real feeling of like coziness to this whole piece. I find it sometimes hard to do pieces that are meant to be set in sort of like a fairly dark environment. If there's too much shadow, it can get quite muddy, and then it doesn't work very well but if there's not enough shadow, it just looks like you're sitting in broad daylight, which doesn't work. Theo says I was watching a VOD of yours and then realized it had distracted me from the fact that you're live. Oh, pretzels. Well, hi. Hello, I am live. I am speaking to you right now. Isn't that wild? The wonders of the internet. Lovely to see you. I love the green shelf. Oh, thank you very much. I was very happy with the way that this green turned out. It was a confluence of many pigments to get this weathered, well-loved appearance. Hi! I'm gonna sip my tea if that's okay. Mmm. Delish. The wonders never cease, says Theo. Hell yeah. Hope you're having a good Monday. I've been having a day. It hath improved because I am painting now. I was just watching you mix them. Yay! I need to update my VOD channel on the YouTubes. I am trying to keep up with it, but rendering those VODs out because I can't just take the VOD directly from YouTube or from Twitch rather and put it directly onto YouTube. I actually have to make some edits to it, which means I end up having to like render it in DaVinci Resolve, which means I have to it takes like about as long as a stream is. It like renders in real time basically. So if it's a 3-hour stream, it takes 3 hours to render. And sometimes if I'm doing too many other things on my computer, the render just breaks. I love having the free version of my video editing software. Yay. And a computer that is really not made to run it. Yay. Anywho. Casa, thank you very much for the 5-stream steak. I hope you enjoy your delicious, delicious steaks. I hope they are whatever manner of steak you prefer and that they are cooked to your exacting specifications and served with whatever your preferred accoutrements are. I personally, honestly, I've been craving tofu. I would love like a tofu steak of some description. I think that would be real nice. With some vegetables, some fresh herbs, maybe a bit of rosemary, some thyme, garlic. Ooh, savoriness. Sounds really yummy. Anyways, I love our subscription-based new world, says Theo. Don't you just love it? Everything is subscription-based. Like and subscribe. Anyways, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, that reminds me. I have a perfume subscription. Cause I thought I was roped in by their very aesthetic Instagram ads. And I was like, yeah, I'll give this a go, because it sounds like it smells real good. And, oi, Savali's line, lovely to see you. Welcome on in. And the first two that I've had do actually smell really, really nice and are quite unusual compared to other things that I've experienced in the world of smells. And I think it was probably about a year ago that I started getting into trying interesting perfumes and scents and smells. Largely because I like wearing them when I go out. Not enough really for other people to notice, but just enough that I can like hold my wrist up to my face if I need to like regulate. If my senses are just like things are pinging too much or things are pinging not enough and I just need to kind of bring myself back into like the present, I can just be like, ah, yes, blood orange peel and nutmeg, good. Cinnamon and fig leaf, or whatever the prevailing notes of my scent of choice happen to be. But I'm supposed to be getting a new fragrance from them for the autumn, and it hasn't arrived yet. And the weather is very autumnal, and I'm like, I don't want to wear my summer smell anymore. I want to wear an autumn smell. And I'm probably also gonna cancel my perfume subscription because I don't go out that often, so I don't need to wear it that often, so I don't need this much of it. And, it's gonna start getting expensive, and I don't have any money. Never mind. Right, how does that look? I feel like that looks darker. I feel like if I try and push it that much further than that, it's just going to start looking a little bit sort of not very good. Just like visually. I am picking up a little bit more paint because I notice the top shelf here, I think I was running out of paint, and that has impacted the way it's kind of sitting. So I just want to kind of smooth it out a smidge if I can. Hopefully not lifting what I just put down. But just make it a slightly smoother pass. I hope. Anyways. But yeah, the thing about having developed a special interest in perfumes is that it turns out I really don't like the way most perfumes smell. So that's made it fun. I'm like, oh, this is really bad. There's this one that, oh, it was really, really popular, so I got a little sample vial of it, and I was like, oh, no, why does this smell like dry cardboard and unpleasantness to me? I hate this. Which I guess is good to know. Because, save my money. I'm glad that I dislike something that's very expensive. Anywho, that paint water looks delicious, says Theo. I gotta tell you that this is the thing. It does not look delicious in real life. In real life, it looks like this cup is incredibly dirty because it's the cup I use to mix paint water, and to clean my paintbrushes. So it's got this like just patina of paint stains around the outside. And also the color is sort of this very like semi-translucent, semi-opaque, semi-brownish. It's like if you took a glass of water and put like 4 grains of hot chocolate powder into it. No. Yes, it says when new hyperfixation meets existing sensory issues, that's me in perfume. Anyways, the good news is I've found like 3 or 4 that I really like, but my favorites are all very sort of autumn winter smells that I don't feel like smell correct if I'm wearing them when the weather's warm. So though I do have ones for summer now, which are good, but but they're like very sort of smells like leaves. I like that, and cinnamon. I like that, and like figs. Good. Those are all good and help me exist in real life without, I don't know, having a breakdown. And I especially love that for me, and I love that for everyone else around me as well. Oh goodness. Okie dokie. Right. Okay, I'm gonna attempt to do that. Hasn't worked. Oh good. Let's just pretend I didn't do that because that did not work. Where's my tissues? I'm just gonna grab a little scrap of tissue, and we're just gonna pretend you didn't see me do that because that didn't work the way I intended. I think my brush was way too wet, actually. I think my brush needs to have significantly less water and paint on it to do that. So I'm gonna try again, because I just wanted to shade this down a smidge, please and thank you. Shade down a smidge. Okay, it didn't work very well, but never mind. Gonna let that dry. And move on to a different bit of the painting in the meantime. Everything's fine. Okay. What color does Terry's cloak want to be? I'm wondering maybe that. Maybe this. Which is this. Would that be a nice cloak color? I feel like that's a nice cloak color. Or maybe that. Maybe that plus maybe that plus this. I'm debating hard what I want to do color-wise. You know, I'm kind of coming back to the violet again, just because I haven't had an opportunity to use very much of it, and it is so stinking pretty. So I think I'm gonna give him a nice sort of slightly violety cloak, and hope that that's that's blue, slightly violet-y cloak. Picking up the right color helps. That's a good start. Okay. I may still be very tired. I've been very, very tired for like days. I think since at least Friday, I've just been like, ugh. Saturday, I was so absolutely... Have you ever just been like, just absolutely like, I can't do squat, just beyond tired? Because that was my weekend, basically, which was very fun for me. I think the more burgundy-ish one, my screen might be distorting the colors, would be really nice with the green, says Theo. Okay. That's Lunar Red Rock. Is that the burgundy-ish one? Let's do that. I put some violet down. But I'm going to add a little bit more of the Lunar Red Rock to it. So that's a very burgundy hue. I think that's nice. I meant the little square. This one? This one? I don't know. These colors are all kind of very muted, so it's hard to tell. But anyways. Okay. The one you picked looks very nice, though. This is too much responsibility. Yes. Oh god. Okay. An additional swipe of this one is going in, and I'm gonna just wash it down, and we'll see. I trust your choices. Thank you, Theo, because I don't always. I try my best, but oh shoot, that's so wet. Hold up, sorry for the shaky cam, everybody. I'm working in a very strange doing things field. I feel like the paint pots have kind of encroached on my left, so I don't really have a lot of space for my left hand to do things and still have my palette be here. Oh, this is so nice and soft. I like it. I did want to try and imbue Terry's garments with a little bit of interest and color that isn't just kind of brownish, because I'm aware that sort of large fields of this piece are brown, like the floor and probably the wall is going to be some manner of brownish as well. Just to give it a little more je ne sais quoi. Because Terry's a cozy boy, but he can also be something of a vibrant fellow, I think. We love that for him. It's nice. Oh yeah, he looks very handsome, I think, in this color. I think this was a good choice. Yay. At least I hope this was a good choice. I hope people like it. I like it, so there. Not to be weird, but as an artist, the first thing I need to think about is whether I like something. Because if I don't like something, if as an artist you're producing something and you personally don't like it, even if other people are like, yeah, you should do that, it will reflect in the final piece if you don't believe in it, or if you don't like it, or if you don't see the vision. So it's important to start from a place of I like this, and that will lead you, I think, in good directions. I mean, our choices aren't always perfect. Sometimes I make a choice and I'm like, I shouldn't have made that choice later on, but I don't know. Trust your gut, trust the process. And yeah. Going to send a hug emoji to my moderator/spouse, who's apparently on a bus right now. So there we go. All right. And while Terry's cloak dries, I think I'm gonna have a little bit of a think about where I want to go from here with the piece. Do I want to do the wall next, or do I want to start painting in some... I might start painting in some books so I don't have to think about what color I want to paint the wall yet. Because the books are easy. The books are a bunch of different colors because they're books. And they have different covers. Gonna take a sip of my tea. I'm going to be going kind of slowly because I think I've got a little bit of trapped nerve pain in my shoulder, which is mildly annoying. My whole body, like all of my muscles have just been feeling sore for days. Just like in really weird, like I'm at the same level of sort of physical activity as I normally would be in my week. More so even, in fact, but not strenuously more so, but just like I went for an additional walk on 2 days. And yet I'm just feeling so sore and so tired, and I don't know what's going on. I think I may have hit a case of the it's September and everyone is feeling kind of grubby. I think that's hit me as well, but in the last couple of years, it feels like things seem to hit me really, really hard, so here we are. Anyways, I'm going to leave you on this for a minute. I'm going to pop you onto the BRB screen. I'm going to let you enjoy the BRB song, and I will be back in approximately a minute. And I hope you have a nice break. Take this as an opportunity to do a little stretch if you haven't recently. Have something to drink if you need to hydrate. And, yeah, enjoy, I don't know, me not nattering at you for a minute. Here's the BRB song. I'll see you in a minute. What's up, nerds? I'm back. Hi. Hello. Sorry about that. Thank you for sticking around, for everyone who stuck around, and for everyone who has left. Goodbye, and I hope you have a good rest of your day, even though you're not here anymore, so you can't hear me. But for everyone else who's still here, hello, I'm back. Hoi, 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 hoi. Ha. What to paint? What I will do is just a nice, simple, straightforward, hopefully not effing anything up. Little shading situation up here. Oh, that's dark. Oh, that's darker than I'd intended. That's much darker than I'd intended. Never mind. That's what I'd planned to do all along. Yo, this is Theo. Hi. Hi. It's good to be back. It's nice to see you. Hello. Okay. Well, let's just pretend that that's what I meant to do all along. And, we'll just run with it. It's all good. Actually, that might not be the worst thing. This paint is very squishy. If I just do... with this, and then maybe I just blend it. You know, listen, this is a tiny little feature, this is a tiny little detail. I just want to kind of blend it out. Like, nobody's gonna notice. It's all fine. Listen, I may not be an accomplished painter, I may not have gone to art school, I may not know how to correctly use colors and paints and media. You may think that statement was going to be followed by some sort of but no, that's it, that's the statement. When you make and or pick a color and you seem really happy with it, it makes me smile, says Theo. Oh, thank you. Anyways, I think I managed to claw that back somewhat. It looks weird, but it'll be fine. It's such a tiny detail in the grand scheme of things that it doesn't really matter. Anywho, I also want to think about the colors of these here cuppies. And I'm thinking I might use my blue for that. I think would be very, very cute, potentially. Or is that potentially going to blend in with the window a little too much? No, you're right, chat. I think because there's going to be some sort of there's going to be probably a little bit of sort of bluish weather going on outside, to which end this probably shouldn't be blue or it's going to blend in. So we're going to just put a pin in that for now and come back to it when I've decided what I want to do with it. That's what we're going to do. Instead, maybe let's just start painting in some books while I try and make decisions about the rest of the piece, because I genuinely just do not know. At least for some of it. Okay. What colors do we want some book covers to be? Red. Red is a good color for books. We can have some red books, so I'm going to pick up some of this red. I haven't used a lot of this red, actually, which is wild, because it is so stinking pretty. It is very pretty. This is what it looks like in action. It's a very, very pretty red. So let's make some books out of this red, shall we? This might be one of the paints I've used the least of, actually, which is wacky. Okay. Gonna start with some red books and see how we get on. Anyways, I do like this red. I think it's a nice cozy red color. This book is going to be red. The decision-making process by which I determine which book is going to be what color is very methodical, very scientific, very, very trying to manufacture the appearance of randomness in a very deliberate way, which is always, I've talked about this before when I'm painting, but the trying to create a sense of randomness out of what is essentially a series of deliberate human choices I find really difficult. I really do. Because like, oh, I don't want too many red books to be too close to each other, but then, oh geez, if I put them all too far apart, then you end up with just sort of accidentally creating a sequence of like red, blue, green, yellow, red, blue, green, and that looks very... I mean, it's possible that Terry might color code his bookshelves in that way, but I doubt it. That's not a very useful... That's a very aesthetic organizational system, but it's not a very useful organizational system for when you actually want to find stuff. Someone's just opened my door, so I'm just going to check and make sure that it is actually the other person who lives here. One moment, please, Dad. Hi, sunshine. Yeah, it is. Everything's fine. It's my husband. Hi, sweetheart. Hello. Turnip says hello in the chat, sweetie. He says hi. Thank you. Okay, let's add some more red books. There was, if memory serves, back in Canada, there used to be a magazine called Red Book. I can't remember anything about it. I think it might have been some kind of women's magazine. Women's or current affairs, I'm not sure. Possibly a women's current affairs magazine. Don't know. But I'm sure it existed. I don't know. We were more of a Canadian Living household, personally. Canadian Living crucially published a lot of recipes. So I was a fan of Canadian Living. Because I like a good recipe. In fact, I use one of Canadian Living's recipes at Christmas time if I make icebox cookies, which were my grandma's favorite. They're like a fairly simple, like, slice and bake vanilla recipe. Vanilla, like, biscuit recipe. But they had red and green glacé cherries in them. And they were, oh, ever so delightful. My grandma would, she didn't make them. She would buy them from the supermarket, but you can't buy them here, so I make them. I think my moderator / spouse is just gone to bed, but I will convey the hellos. Thank you for that. But yeah, icebox cookies. The only thing is you can't get red and green glacé cherries in the supermarkets here. The only glacé cherries that I can find, occasionally I can find like the bright red ones, but for the most part, all I can find are like the like natural colored glacé cherries, which arguably probably a little bit less unhealthy on like the artificial colors front. But also just make for a much less festive looking biscuit. And I genuinely do love that a little bit less. But they are a tasty biscuit. They just don't, they're not as exciting as the ones I remember from back in Canada. But they do taste really good. It is, because it's like I would say the biscuit texture, it's got that like buttery shortbready-ness, but it is a little bit more, it is a little bit chewier than a shortbread. It doesn't have quite as much of like a crumbliness. So it travels very well from that perspective because it doesn't really crumble. But they're not particularly soft, I wouldn't say. I don't know. It's just a really good biscuit recipe. I love them very much. And they make me happy. The next thing I'm likely to bake is probably some kind of strawberry rhubarb pie tart situation, because I have some rhubarb that I picked up on clearance a couple weeks ago and bunged straight into the freezer, and I've got a load of strawberries in the freezer from the bumper crops that we have over the summers here. And I was thinking of possibly making a little pie out of them, so I think that'll be real nice. I'm gonna do that in the next couple of days, I hope. With a little short crust of pastry and a very sort of jammy filling. I guess my question to myself is cream or custard as an accompaniment. Ooh, or I could make like a pastry cream and have it be like a custard pie. Oh no. Oh, that sounds good. Chat, should I do that? I have to say, I will confess to y'all, I'm not a huge baker of pies generally. I haven't made a great many of them compared to some other types of bake. I'm not a big fan of making like pie type pastries, like flaky pastry, short crust pastry, all that stuff. I'm not a big fan of making that kind of thing from scratch. I don't like things that you have to roll out. It's just not an aspect of baking that is my favorite personally. But I've made a few memorable pies over the year. I did make a pumpkin pie once, but only once, because it turns out that my moderator / spouse doesn't like pumpkin pie. I was very sad to learn this because I didn't grow up eating pumpkin pie. It was not a mainstay in my household. So it was rare that I had pumpkin pie growing up. And I can't justify making pumpkin pie for one. But it turns out it's real good and I really like it. And so I'm like, what do I do? Oh no. But yeah. Pumpkin pie was very nice the one time I made it. And also, I think the best pie I've ever made was the bye pie. So one time I made a pie that was like, I think it was strawberry, blackcurrant, and blueberry or something like that. And I made it such that the filling created like 3 stripes of filling. And it looked like the Bi Pride flag. And so I named it my Bi Pie. And I decorated it with little sort of like pipings of whipped cream that I had added some like bi-gradient food coloring into. It was so silly. It was so silly. And it was really delicious. And it looked like the bi flag, but it was pie. So it was bi pie. Or as Theo says, bye. Yes, exactly. Thea's ice cream is my favorite rhubarb baked good accompaniment. You should try the cream. The thing that you said experimenting is fun. It does sound fun. I do like a good pastry cream. I do very much like a good pastry cream situation. It is one of my favorite things. It uses eggs normally, and I do have eggs in the house, so I could do that. Hell yes. Good stuff. What else? Pies and tarts. Butter tarts, obviously, a Canadian mainstay. I haven't made that many butter tarts in my life, but part of that is because my grandma made the best butter tarts in the entire universe. And those are big shoes to fill. But also I feel like I should be doing something to kind of carry on that legacy of really, really good butter tarts. If you're not familiar with butter tarts, the name is kind of a weird misnomer and makes it sound not like it is. A butter tart is, it is obviously like a single serve tartlet that has a filling that is like, it's kind of, I can't it's like this syrupy, semi-set filling with brown sugar and or maple syrup, and sometimes raisins, but you don't have to put raisins, but you can put raisins if you want to. Ideally, the pastry should be nice and flaky, and the filling should be just a little bit runny. That's personal preference. Of course, some people prefer a more set filling, some people prefer a runnier filling. I like the filling to be like a little bit runny, but that's how Grandma used to make it, so obviously that's going to be my fave. My grandma was great. And, yeah. Anyways. Butter tarts. But yeah, strawberry rhubarb pie is forthcoming. And I need to figure out exactly how I'm going to do that. Is it going to be a filling that's, like, baked into the crust? Not baked into the crust, but, like, is the filling going to be baked... You know, am I going to put the filling into the crust and then bake the whole thing? Or am I going to just fully blind bake the crust and then add the filling and then serve it, like, cold? Which I can do as well. I just don't know. It depends on what kind of filling I want to do. Do I want to do, like, a set sort of baked custardy filling? Or do I want to have a... I'm going to put 2 red books right next to each other. Because you know what? I can. Random. And then another one right here. Anyways, do I want to do a baked custard filling, or do I want to, like, pipe in the custard? Life's tough. Do I want to do a custard at all? I don't know. Do I want to just get a can of squirty cream from the supermarket and just put that all over the top? Because I can do that too. I don't know. I'm having a struggle, y'all. Anyways. Indigo, hi! Hello. It's going pretty good. How are you doing? Lovely to see you. Welcome on in. We are painting in some books on the bookshelf while I try to decide what the heck to do with the rest of the painting / I don't know, my life.
Oh hell yeah, Samantha _42 just subscribed. My advice is always to forego custard.
Hello, Samantha. Welcome on in. Thank you so much for the sub. And it's lovely to see you. And if I ever serve you any sort of food stuff, I will be sure to omit the custard and just give myself 2 portions. I think that's the magic of friendship right there, is just being loving custard and then being friends with someone who does not want custard and then just having their custard for them. And see, if Samantha and I were in a situation where we were getting some kind of mutual dessert scenario out there in the world and her food came with some custard, I would very happily have her custard and she could have something of mine, I suppose. You are so very selfless, says Samantha. Yeah, it's definitely selflessness and nothing to do with the fact that I hecking love custard. Anyways, I mean, but it's also, the principle of sharing and caring. Anyways, hello, Ms. Junderscore. I am so sorry that TTS Nicole names you Samantha Junder score 42. But also hi. It's very good to see you. Welcome in. I hope you're having a lovely Monday. I hope you had a good weekend. How are you doing? And thank you again for the resub for 37 months, which is almost, numerically speaking, that is very nearly 1 year. I just realized that every single shelf I've done so far, the second book along from the left has been read. Oops. Please, Miss Junderscore is my father's name. Call me Samantha. Okay, I shall. I would not wish to misname my peeps. Anywho, welcome to Bookshelf. There we go. Delightful. Anyways, but yeah, hope you're having a good Monday. Hope you're having a good week. I am going to also make this book red, just to try and break up that accidental trend, which just felt a little too parallel for me. I mean, it might not have been as noticeable once all of the books were colored in, because we've got quite an abundance of them happening here, but I just didn't like the way it felt just then, so I figured I should probably do something about it. And Theo, I have. I hope that's better. Now, I think I'm going to finish with the red books and then might look at something to do with Terry's person again. Welcome to Painting Books. We hope you enjoy it because it will make up the next month of our programming schedule, says Samantha. I mean, listen, I know, but hey. I mean, you ain't wrong, but no. I don't have a full month left to pay. I have to finish this before October starts, because October, as you may know, is Stream Inc. And we're going to be doing 31 paintings, and I guess I can't do any bookshelves during Stream Inc. Or I'll be in trouble, because I have to do a painting for every day of the month for 31 days. I mean, I don't have to. I'm simply choosing to take on that challenge. You don't have to. You can do as much or as little as you want. You can make it as simple or as complicated as you want. I would always suggest erring on the side of keeping things less ambitious than you think you can get away with, because inevitably you'll be like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and then you end up not being able to do all of that. In my experience, that being said, I did a 31-day art challenge month back in May, and I only had half of the month in which to do it, because I was going away for the latter half of May, and still managed to produce like multiple full color paintings that all had backgrounds. I can't do that anymore. Anyways, Samantha says, new plan. I become well known in the online art world. Get chosen for a prompt on an art month. My prompt, bookshelves. I mean, honestly, I would love to see it, and I would 100% do it. You know I would, Samantha. You know I would. That would be, yes, you should do that. Hell yeah. Good. Good. Okay. Right. Do I want to color in Terry? Do I want to give Terry some color in? Maybe I do. I mean, I'm going to start with, okay, so some of this light from this lantern here is going to be touching Terry, so I'm going to start with like a fairly light sort of underpainting, and then we're going to add, so that's just basically going to comprise the highlight, and then we're going to move forward from there. Did I just get I did get a notification. Okay. It was very confusing. I heard the little notification sort of sound, but I didn't see anything, and the visual notification showed up a moment later. It isn't easy being green, says Samantha. Terry needs some help from Sammy. He does, and we're gonna do our very best making him his best green self here. So I'm gonna start with a basis of yellow. I'm going to add a little bit of green into it. And we're going to use this as kind of our, like, underpaint. Partly because the green as it is in this palette is very saturated. And Terry does tend to be somewhat of a slightly more yellow-green than our green. So what I'm gonna do is start with a very, very yellow green. And then we'll glaze it from there. But this will allow us to have a bit of a highlight where the light is hitting. And I'll have to figure out what the positioning of our light source means, because I'm bad at that. Tra-la-la. Anyways, this is a good shade for terry underpainting, I think. It's much too yellow for, like, terry standard flesh. But it's good for terry underpainting, I think. Which is not his surname. His surname is the Forg Mage, as you well know. But I realized as I was saying it, it sounded like, oh. Okay, my light just did a little flicker. I don't think it was... I don't know how fully charged it was before I started to stream, so we may end up with a bit of an interesting lighting adjustment at some point. But we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully it'll stick it out. Is the light bright enough? Can y'all see what I'm doing? Hopefully. If we need to do a lighting adjustment now, please do let me know. Because there's no point in my streaming artwork if no one can see what I'm doing. That's silliness. Okay. There we go. Yay, Terry has feats. I love Terry's feats. I think they're his best feature. Normally, I don't think much of people's feats. I'm not a fan of the way that feet look generally. But Terry's got very cute little feets. I like his feets. Good feets. There we go. Alright. Terry's feats are colored in. Terry the Fork Mage, completely unrelated to Sir Terence Forgington III. Absolutely. Terry is just a little guy. He is absolutely not a Nepo baby. Anywho. Oh, goodness gracious. It is golden hour outside. Can you see that? Can y'all see that on screen? That is golden hour, just beaming in from outside right now. Absolutely heckin' lush. But I'm glad I'm not out in it because it's really bright and it would hurt my eyes. I had to put on my sunglasses to walk outside to post a letter earlier. And that was like a cumulative 5 minutes out of the house. Indeed, Sir Terence Forgington is a sorcerer, yes. This, delicious. If you like cherry stuff and you ever come upon natural 100% sour cherry, yeah. Gazillion out of 10 do recommend. 0% sugar added, but also, crucially, no sweeteners added either. It is indeed just juice. And it's very nice. Shake before consumption. Best before printed on the packaging. I hope. All right. This is one of those packages. This is one of those packages where they give you the date of production as well as the expiry date, and I had a little look-see on the bottom of the tin just now, and I saw the date 18th of the 4th, 2024, and I was like, oh damn, did I just drink well out of date cherry juice? No. It's best before October of next year rather. I'm just very stupid. Awesome Jedi says, where Frog? Here, Frog! Here he is. Hi. Also, hello. How's it going, Awesome Jedi? It's lovely to see you. Welcome on in. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to stream. Hope you're having a lovely Monday. I want the cherry... Oh, cherry soup, says Theo. Theo, dost thou knowest of Hungarian cherry soup? Because I'm here to tell you that it is the best food to ever exist, and I cannot believe it's been so long since I have had it. Now that I have been remembered of the fact that it exists. Bedilevesh. It is so good. It is so good. I should try and remember to pop a recipe for it in the Discord if I remember. Awesome Jedi says Frog is a distinguished gentleman. His name is Terry and he is a very, very good boy. Thank you. Hope you're having a lovely Monday. As if anyone's Monday is ever good, says Awesome Jedi. I mean, also true. Also very true. I gotta say, somebody, that's me. This somebody was very much having a case of the Mondays before stream. And they have abated slightly because streaming. But today was something. And that's all I shall say on the matter. Please do that, says Theo. Of course I shall. Hello, Sunshine. My moderator / spouse has just walked past, so I said, hello, Sunshine. He has waved. Anyways. I didn't decide what color I wanted the cup and teapot to be. I didn't want them to be blue, because there's going to be sort of a blue hour-y weather situation happening, coming in from the window, I feel like. Ergo, I want these to stand out a bit. So, what if I... What if I gave them a nice glaze with this? What if I just gave them a nice glaze with this? Yes. Yes, indeed. Today really was something, says Indigo. I'm just here to chill, says Awesome Jedi. That is a very good goal, and I love that for you. Samantha says, vote for me as PM, and I promise to ban Mondays. Wait, but I stream on Mondays. Does that mean I'd have one less day to stream? Oh no. Also traverse every single thing Keira Starmer does ever. British politics, am I right, friends? Everything hurts and nothing is beautiful. Awesome Jedi says, ban the whole week and we got a deal. Only weekends. You know what? I would kind of love that for me. If I only had weekends, maybe I'd start streaming on Sundays more often again. I do miss it. But I'm too tired. I don't have enough time off because sadly I have to have a normal job. 0 out of 10 do not recommend. To have the charisma and skill to just be an artist and not have to look at spreadsheets. That's my goal. My extremely non-laudable, wholly unrealistic and sad, I should probably just give up of a goal, but that's my goal. But I confess I'm not very good at it. But oh well. Giving up is too sad, so I'm not ready. I'm not ready to be that sad. I've decided one of the books in this stack over here are going to be read. It's going to be this one. Anyways. I realized belatedly that I think this might have been one of the books that I had initially intended to have its, like, pages side facing outwards, but whatever. Oh. Okay, my lighting is definitely going a little bit wee-woo. So if you will just bear with me for 1 second. Where's my technical difficulties screen? Plap! Alright, there we go. Normal job sucketh, says Awesome Jedi. Oh, yeah. Oh? Okay. Okay, I've tried to readjust the light. I hope that it works now. Oh god, it's too bright. Ugh. Okay. I've adjusted it down a little bit, and I'm just gonna put another supplementary light on, because it was kind of doing a little wibbly wobble, so I don't know whether or not this light is gonna die. Everything's okay. We're coming back. Hi! We're back. Hello. Anyways. Oh, okay, so 2 people in the chat were shouting, Ubi! And I was like, what? I was like, wait. Huh? And I was trying to figure out what you meant, and the only thing I could think of was ube, which is like a type of purple yam. And I was like, I don't think that's... And then I was like, oh, UBI. You mean Universal Basic Income. Yes, absolutely. But also ube. That's kind of an ube color. Almost. Both is good, says Theo. Yes, absolutely. Awesome Jedi says, even if you're an artist, it still sucks doing a daily job. It's really hard, and it's really hard to be a self-sufficient. It really is. Summer Sewer is truly a professional artist. Truly, it really is. It really is. I appreciate the knowing I'm going to have at least some measure of an income every single month. Feels very good, but on the other hand, everything else about it is soul-destroying and makes me want to hurl myself into the sun on the regular. Universal Basic Yam. Yes, ube for everyone, except those who are allergic, who can have pumpkin instead. There we go. Turnip says, yams and basic income for all. Hell yeah. Ubiversal Basic Lube, says Theo. Oh my god. Also, yes, access. Everyone deserves access to lube. It's very helpful. For many and various situations that you might wish to be slippery. Universal Basic Lube. Universal Basic Lube. I don't know what's happening, but I love it. Thank you. Anyways, Uber says Awesome Jedi. Yes, Uber's for everyone. Except that one Uber driver who got mad at my friend once because he misread the request and thought he was only going to one stop and then had to drive to another stop. Because it was pouring rain and we were trying to leave Alexandra Palace. And I had to get to the nearest tube station, which I think is was it Wood Green, I think, which is a reasonable walk down the hill from there. And then my friend was just going directly to her hotel because she was in town from far, far away. And so since the tube station was on the way to the hotel, she offered to split the Uber with me, which was very, very nice. So we drove to the stop, and I got out, and I said thanks, and I said bye, friend, and then they kept on going, and apparently he got mad and told her off because he didn't want to go to another stop because it was the Wood Green station was near his house or something, and she was like, well, you should have read that the request was going to another street then. What the flip? Oh, you want a channel point drawing? Is that because you don't have enough channel points, or is that because I'm a silly sausage and I forgot to re-enable it after last week's Hollow Knight stream? Let me take a look and make sure that it's running, which it might not be, because to be perfectly honest, somebody was having a case of the Mondays earlier, and that somebody was me. There we go. It's enabled now, so you should be able to use it if you want to. I'm very sorry. Everyone hates a day job. Truly the great unifier, says Awesome Jedi. Yep. 100%. Absolutely. I feel like I'd hate it a little bit less if I felt like I had more of a choice in what sort of a day job I had. But I don't really feel like I do. I feel like it's just bad choice or worst choice. 100 days until Christmas, says Sledge. Oh god, really? Guess who's not ready for that? And as a small independent artist and maker of stuff, I'm gonna have to do some sort of Christmas shop update. And I'm not ready for that either, because I have not had time to think about it. I will not have time to think about it in October. I basically have 2 weeks to do all that. So there's gonna be a lot of scrambling behind the scenes at the moment, but most of it so far is just me sort of with holding my head with both hands and going, ah, and not knowing where to start or what to do. So that feels really good. Why is there a new pencil fundraiser on screen? Because I forgot to rename it, babe. Shh. Just ignore it. The only choice is made for you because money and capitalism, says Awesome Jedi. Yeah, yay! Christmas update is just your existing things with a small Christmas hat on it. Oh my goodness, I could do that. Hold on. Yeah, I do have... I'm just gonna send you to my... there is a socials command. There is a socials command, which is there. So, I've got the thems. I also have Mastodon, Kara, Blue Sky, and technically Tumblr, but I don't use it very well, and some of it is me being feral about television, so I don't tend to give it out. I will spam like he then returns his awesome Jedi. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it. That's really kind. Come say hello. That's nice. Thank you. Anywho. What the heck was I saying? I don't know. I don't know anymore. Everything's broken in my head. That's not super unusual for me though. 100 days to cancel Christmas, says Samantha. Yep. Mm-hmm. Anyways. Oh yeah, also I did do a shop update on Friday the 13th, and I haven't told you about it yet. So here's a link. We have bookmarks now. I made bookmarks. I'm very excited. Universal Basic Lube somehow. If you want a character in there, it can be brought to you, presented by Crack Bandicoot, says Theo. Oh my god, okay. Okay. So here's the situation, chat. For anyone who isn't familiar with the phenomenon that is terrible drawing time, it is this situation here, wherein for 5,000 channel points, I've got 5 minutes or less to draw a character or concept of your choosing, from memory or sight unseen on the terrible drawing canvas, which, for the moment, is this pile of absolute, what shall I say, a mixed bag of weirdness, whimsy, and absolute poo-poo garbage. To which I will be adding the concept of Universal Basic Lube, which, oh, don't know. And also, this is my attempt at drawing Lapras from memory. This is Sliggoo. This is a carrot holding a Brawly, not getting rained on, and I love that for them. This is my Dungeons and Dragons friend, named Twig, climbing a bookshelf and doing all right. This is my Stardew Valley character. His name is Jeff, and he's married to Harvey. This is children's character classic Pokeroo, of very specifically regional Canadian fame, flying through the sky. Imagine, you can imagine, Pokeroo flying through the sky. 5 minutes to draw. Oh, why? 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 Awesome Jedi says, I love how you made a character with a pumpkin head with a jacket shirt and a small chain. I did the exact same thing except for the ghost head. I love them already, Awesome Jedi. That is wicked cool.
Sledge Kelly cheered. X30. But you already got a new pencil?
Thank you, Sledge, my darling. Thank you. Very much for the 30 biddies. I very much appreciate it. Thank you for the biddies. You didn't have to do that. We lived together. But I appreciate them. Very much I do. I need to, and yeah, there was a new pencil fund, and I forgot to take it away, so I'm sorry, but thank you for the biddies. I appreciate it. Anywho, I need to draw Universal Basic Lube, as presented by Craig Bandicoot. And I've got 5 minutes on the clock to do it. Let's try to do it. Turnip, thank you very much for the lurk. Thank you. Much appreciated. We've got 5 minutes. Let's go. Let's do this. No, start. Okay, it started. Okay. You can have 2 fundraise new pencils, says Theo. Oh, thank you. I mean, to be fair, all of my other art supplies are also, cost money, but it is what it is. Anywho. How? I don't, like, what? Okay, this is me showing my ignorant. I'm trying to think of what a container of lube looks like. It's gonna be in one of these sorts of tubes. It's gonna be in one of these sorts of tubes. One of the ones where it kind of flips open. Thus. It's kind of sealed up at this end. It's a tube of lube. Universal basic tube. Not that you've started using the new pencil. I'm still using the old, but I will switch over to the new pencil very, very soon. It's a lube, like a toothpaste tube normally, or a pump flask. You've got it. Okay, yeah. Anyways.
Attention.
Twitch user Sammy
Silly,
Kelch.
hello.
Shoppers.
Hi, Raiders, welcome on in. I'm just drawing some universal basic lube, as you do. Sorry, lube, because it rhymes with ube. Anyways, how's it going, everybody? Welcome on in. I mean, it is basic, so it's going to be fairly no frills. But, I don't know, maybe you could get in different flavors if you want to. Anyways, hi, everybody, welcome on in. Okay, there's 3 minutes left on the terrible drawing. I'm just going to pause that for a second, if that's okay, so I can say hello to the Raiders. I hope my requester doesn't mind. Hi, everybody, welcome in. Hello, hello, hello. It's wonderful to see you. Thank you so much for the raid, Silly. I really appreciate it. How was the rest of your stream? Did you get some good sketch and art stuff done? Did you have a lovely time? I hope so. It's very good to see you. Curb, hello, hello, welcome in. And Splash Ingling, hello. And Kitty Whiskers, hello. How are you doing, everybody? Lovely to see y'all. I'm just Curb says, I definitely didn't forget to copy the raid message. I know this, and I appreciate you very much. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for the raid. How's it going? Let me get a shout out for the lovely Silly. There you go. If you're not following Silly, go do that, because Silly's lovely, a wonderful friend of the channel, a wonderful streamer of things, a wonderful doer of artworks, and very cool indeed. I'm pretending the lube is on Terry's shelf, says Theo. Why not? He might have lube. He probably does. Anyways. But hello to anyone who's just come in on the raid. Welcome in. As for me and myself, my name is Twitch user Sammy Kelch. I'm a variety streamer. I do cozy art streams on Mondays and Thursdays. I do cozy game streams on Fridays, and every once in a while, very rarely, on a Sunday as well. We are mostly painting Terry in his enchanted little study, reading a book right now, but I've also been given a terrible drawing time request to draw Universal Basic Lube, as you do. And yeah, having a nice time with that. I'm a watercolor artist mainly. I work in wet medias like watercolor, traditional art, all that kind of jazz, good things, yada yada yada. Here's something I posted on my Instagram recently in case you're curious. It's a sticker of a werewolf. What I made. He's a very good boy. Anyways, if you have any artwork that you want to share, Silly, you can absolutely do me a little like whispery do, and I would be very, very happy to share it with class. But no pressure, obviously, but if you would like to art text, you absolutely can. I drew myself as a wizard. Hell yeah. Living your best life. I love to see it. And then tried playing some Bloodborne cart. How was the Bloodborne cart? That sounds so stinking cool. I can send the wizard whip. Yes, yes, yes. I would love to see it. I would love to share it. Thank you much indeed. When you have it, just drop it into my whispery doos, because links are still broken, because I still do get spam. Anyways. But yes, Samantha says, Sammy, quickly bring back the actual painting for the raid to try and pretend they aren't about to draw some lube! Listen, I have a reputation to maintain, and that reputation is, well, honestly, this represents me pretty well, probably, depressingly. Anyways. They didn't cover the lube up, so there's no chance it's going to work. Yes, I have been asked to draw a tube of lube, as you do. Listen, sometimes it's an important thing. Sometimes you need things to be slippery. Bloodborne cart was real fun, Cecily. I've been following the person who made it for a while. Ooh, and I really like all the Bloodborne inside jokes they put in it. That is so cool. I know not a ton about it, but I simply adore the fact that it exists. I think that is so heckin' funny and so heckin' fun. I love it. I honestly love it. So I love that for you. Samantha says, Sammy is the world's premier Pokedex artist. Just look at the wonderful Lapras. I was asked to draw Lapras, I think it was last stream. And, well, it was from memory. And it turns out I
Attention,
couldn't remember
Twitch
it very well.
user Sammy Kelsch.
choppers.
Manic Pixel Bean Girl, hello and welcome in. Hello, Raiders. Hi, everybody. Welcome in. I was definitely not about to draw a tube of lube. How's it going, friends? Hello, hello, and thank you so much for the raid. How's it going? Hello to It's Fern's turn, and I am Tinderly, and maybe Christine. And Gowley on the Rocks, hello, hello. And hello, Manic Pixel Bean Girl. How was your stream? What did you get up to? It is lovely to see you, and welcome on in. Let me get a shout out for you in the chat. What were you up to today? There we go. We are working on this little watercolor of Terry the Forge Mage, just having a cozy time in his study. And I have also just had a terrible drawing time redeem where I'm going to have to draw a tube of lube, as you do. Anyways. Amanda Pixel says, I saw Frog and books and I came running. How are you doing? I'm doing pretty well. I'm doing pretty well indeed. Having a nice cozy time, doing some paints, trying to get a bit more of this done. It's not going to get done today, but that's alright. Been making some little Halloween sprites. Oh, hell yeah. If there's anything you want to share, feel free to whisper a link in my direction. Links do not work in the chat, but you can send them to me and then I will share them with the class. Just if you want to, of course, no pressure, but if there is anything that you would like to share, whether it's whatever you were working on today or like your social or what have you, very happy to do so. Anywho, Silly did raid earlier as well, and we were going to have a look at their current whip. Silly is going to go get some dinner. I'll be right back. Have a nice time painting. Thank you so much again for raiding us as well, Silly. I very much appreciate it. Let me get another shout out for you in the chat. And again, if you're not following Silly Little Guy, you should do that. You can go follow them. They're very, very lovely people. And did a wizard... Oh my gosh, it's so stinking cool. And did a wizard art that is very stinking cool. Let me get this up on screen as soon as I can. Okay. So this is something recent that I did, which looks like this. This is the little werewolf guy I made into a sticker because I had a vampire bat sticker and I was like, oh, you know what? He misses his boyfriend, so I had to make the werewolf sticker as well so they match. But this is Silly's wizard, which looks very, very, very cool. I love their whole aesthetic. I think it's very cozy. I think they seem like a very friend-shaped wizard. I hope, anyways. I hope they're a friend-shaped wizard. They certainly look friend-shaped to me, but I love what's going on here already. I think it's very, very, very cool. Very wizard aesthetic. Very much my bag. Love to see it. And thank you, Silly, for sharing. I hope you're having a good post-stream decompress. We've got some art tags from Manic Pixel Bean Girl as well. Let me go have a little look-see. Let me go grab that link so we can have a little look. Plap. Plop. Hope this works. Is it working? Yeah! Oh my goodness, this is precious as heck. I love it already. I love it, I love it, I love it. Okay, y'all, you know. You know that it's the best part of the year. And this is very much capturing the essence of the season, I think. Look at these! They're so good! They're so good! I love them! I absolutely adore, like, pixel art and stuff. It is genuine wizardry to me. And these are so good. They're so expressive. Oh my goodness. The little Angie ghost on the far, sort of top right here. So stinking precious. The little bat. The little pumpkins. I love the little uwu pumpkin on the left as well. Oh my goodness, they're so cute. And obviously I'm gonna love the Froggos with my entire heart. I love the Froggo with my entire heart. These are so cute, Smiths. I love the bat friend so much. Very adorable. Thank you so much for sharing these with us. I love them. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Thank you. Let me get another shout. Assuming it's not going to time me out on this, I should be able to. Manic Pixel Bean. It worked. Okay. And if you're not following our friend Manic Pixel Bean Girl, you can go do that right there. And you should. If you have taste. Feel free to go give him a follow. I want to boop their little batty snoot, says Samantha. Hell yeah. I wholeheartedly would love this for you. Okay, I have to finish a terrible drawing of Universal Basic Lube. Sorry, Universal Basic Lube, as it is pronounced. As presented by friend of the channel, my extremely embarrassing attempt at drawing Crash Bandicoot. I've never played a Crash Bandicoot. For anyone who is new here, I've never played a Crash Bandicoot game in my life. I was once asked to draw Crash Bandicoot, and it went so terribly that he's now just sort of a recurring character on stream, to my incredible shame. And I'm just going to have him sort of lurking behind this tube of lube, looking menacing, I suppose, if I can. He's got his weird little nose and his weird little smile. And he's got, I can't remember, does he have a tooth on the top or a tooth on the bottom? He's got a tooth that's right there now. I don't know. And he's got his little eye. And he's absolutely looking at you. Oh no. Oh nose. And his little ears. You can kind of see in behind. And he's giving, because of course he is, he's giving a thumbs up here. Hell yeah. He says you should use lube. Anyways. So that is our nightmare. And I hate it. I feel, can I improve upon this? Can I make it less cursed, more cursed, a slightly better flavor of cursed? I don't know. I think I'm gonna make his eye slightly bigger. Yeah. I think that looks better. He still looks completely horrifying. Actually, can I give... You know what? I'm going to make all of his features a little bit bigger here. Because I have a little bit of time, so I can just do a little bit of an adjustment. Give him a slightly more standout nose. And a nice big smile. Wow. There we go. Oh, he's real happy today. He's in a good mood. I don't know. I don't know if we should feel good about this. I don't feel good about this, but, yeah. Thanks, I hate it. I love him, says Theo. Well, at least somebody does, because I feel deeply uncomfortable that this happened. Why is it that every time I'm asked to draw the most cursed, terrible scribble is when there are new people here? Universal Basic Lube, endorsed by Crash Bandicoot. Oh, goodness gracious. So yeah, that's our guy. That's terrible drawing time, and I'm so sorry. And I hope you're happy. I'm gonna go back to painting for a little bit before I finish for the day. Oh my goodness gracious. That was fun though. Thank you. Anyways. See, it all started because several people said UBE in chat, and instead of reading that as UBI rather, and instead of reading that as like universal basic income, I was like, okay, that's not how you spell ube, which is a type of yam. And then it devolved from there into universal basic lube. So here we are. Creating curse works is my favorite hobby, says Manic Pixel. Hell yeah. I like to use my powers for evil once in a while, and you know what? That is totally, incredibly, and very valid for you. I love ube, says Flash Inkling. I know, it's delicious. Lube, says Theo. Also, very useful for when things need to be slippery. And, of course, eBay, for when you need to buy weird random stuff. Anywho. Shall I do a little bit of painting? I do believe I shall attempt to. So I've got a bit of this. Terry right now is a very yellowish green. That was sort of my underbit. I want to do another sort of glazy layer of paint, but this green is very oh my my god. My throat just did a thing. Did I just go through puberty? Anyways, this paint palette, by the way, for the uninitiated, is basically I took a very basic rainbow of colors and blended each of them with a fixed amount of this sort of anchor color, which is, in this case, Lunar Red Rock from Daniel Smith Paint, which is just this beautiful, like, very granular, warm red color, which I absolutely adore. And I think it's made a nice sort of, like, warm, colder weather palette. So that's what I'm working with today. So I'm just picking up a little bit of my green to kind of make a slightly richer green for the rest of Terry's self. His painted flesh tone. Anyways, buy something to use with the Lupe off the eBay. Oh my goodness. I can't remember the last time I bought anything off of eBay. It's been quite a wee while, I feel like. Quite a while indeed. Okay, this looks super weird, but it'll all make sense when it's done, you know? Today, we are trusting the process, and it's gonna pay off for us. That's what I'm telling myself. Here we go. Okay. Obviously, the best bit of Terry is his cutesy little feetsies. He's just got the loveliest little feetsies, this guy. Actually, can I pick up a little bit of that paint? Because it's a little bit... There's a little bit more than it needs going on there. Okay, there we go. Because there will also be, of course, some shading going on after this as well. Yay! Alright. We have more Terry. Trust the process, says Manic Pixel Bean Girl. Hell yeah. It is very important and sometimes very difficult to do in my experience and my estimation. Oh boy. Sometimes it feels like the process is leading you astray, but just, you gotta just keep on keeping on and you will get somewhere good. You will. I think I'm just going to use this for the teapot and the teacup. Just in and of itself, this red rock. Lunar red rock, because as we know, the moon is a very red mass. This is very much the color of moon. Totally makes sense. I have no idea how this actually, it has been remarked before that the black blend that I'm using uses a base of Mars black. Mars famously the black planet. The moon famously red. What are these paint makers doing? One asks oneself. And I don't know. I have no idea. Anyways, how's everybody doing? How are your weeks going? I realize it's fairly early days to say how the week is going, I suppose. Maybe that's a stupid question, I don't know. But I hope you're having good weeks in any case. I'm having a time. Actually, no, saying that, I'm having a pretty good Monday so far, considering that I get to do this, which is one of my very favorite things to get to do. I'm very happy to be here hanging out with y'all and having a nice time with that, so mustn't grumble. I will say my sinuses were absolutely just acting the heck up earlier today, which was not so much fun. But I don't know if it's just time or drinking tea or the ibuprofen that's helped, but that seems to have simmered itself down now, which is really nice. Carb says, me playing Terraria because I'm totally not addicted. Oh, that's a mood. I've been, you know what I've been on lately off stream? Ooblets. I have been playing so much ooblets. More ooblets than scents, really. I can't stop myself. Oh, goodness gracious. Like, I really probably shouldn't be playing as much ooblets as I am. I've got more things to do, but I just being like, oh, you know what, I am bone tired, and I'm feeling stressed, and all I want to do is watch these funky little creatures do dances together, and farm for vegetables with whimsical names like Sweetie Beaties and Fluty Flowers, you know? If you haven't played Ooblets, it's super fun. I did stream Ooblets for a while. I think we got through the, like, storyline portion of it. I actually started a new save recently, because I was just like, I want to do the best save I can. This is going to be the most efficient, methodical save, and it's going to be way more organized than my previous save. And so far it has been, so good for me. Samantha says, honestly, the names of these paints just confirms my long-held position that most colors don't exist and are just made up. I mean, my brain is trying to formulate what I'm trying to say. What one perceives as what color looks like isn't the full story, regardless of whether or not you have, like, a color blindness condition. Even those of us with human eyes who have what is sort of normal color perception, supposedly, there are elements of the spectrum that we can't see fully. There are other colors out there, supposedly. I don't know. It's all very confusing. Silly points out that there's a color called Mummy Brown. Guess what it's made of? I don't think you can buy it anymore. At least I hope not. I'll pass. Anyways, Casey, hello, welcome in. Lovely to see you. Casey says, hi, this looks lovely. Thank you, Casey. That's really kind. I'm trying my best. And, Terry here is having a lovely time. Please get into focus. Thank you. Terry here is having a lovely time. But yeah, I've still got a lot of books to paint in. Shall we paint in another color of book while I decide whatever the heck else to do with my life? I think that's probably a good idea. I should probably focus on actually just getting all of the sort of base layers, flat colors, and underpaintings down and stuff before doing all of the other gubbins, but focus, I don't know her today. I really don't. My attention is deficient. My attention is trapped in the attention dungeons and is being fiercely held captive by the hyperactivity dragons. So here we are. I have pulled out some of my blue paint, and I'm gonna make some blue books with it. And hopefully that'll be good. So cute and cozy, says Casey. Oh, thank you, Casey. That's very, very sweet. I'm gonna have to go sideways to paint these books. I hope that's alright. Samantha says, and people will still say we need to keep all the stolen artifacts in the British Museum to preserve them. Unlike the rightful owners who might grind up mummies to make paints of... Yep, museums are a thing. They are indeed. I was just watching, I don't know if anyone's familiar with Kat Graffam on YouTube, but she just made a video about, like, vandalizing works of art, and is it ever okay to, and it was interesting. I think she usually has some interesting things to say and interesting thoughts on it, and is, willing to have opinions on stuff that I think more established, perhaps people of the sort of, like, I don't know, like, museum-y, gallery-y art community who thrive on lots of money being kicked around might not love. And so I feel that. I don't know. It also got me thinking about, Banksy, that's what I was thinking about. Because someone in the comments of that video shared an anecdote to do with, somewhere near where they live, 3 Banksy pieces appeared on the sides of, like, some residential buildings. And one of the building owners decided, because they were like, ooh, a Banksy, this might be worth some money, to actually, like, have the wall that it was painted on just fully removed to try and, like, sell it or auction, like, the whole wall. And so the person who was renting that house had to be moved into an Airbnb for months while their home was, like, literally dismantled because some guy decided to, you know, slap a painting on the wall that the art community, as sort of a group of people with lots of money, has decided is the person what paints stuff on walls of value, and how actually kind of disruptive and uncool that is. And I mean, yeah, I do think it's interesting that, like, you know, somebody paints something on a wall without permission. Most of the time it's like, hey, don't do that. And without a thought, like, the council or whoever owns the building will just paint over it or, like, pressure wash it off. Unless it's this one guy who, it's been decided, is the guy who just has blanket permission to do that. And if you paint over that guy's works, oh, no, 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 no. It is a total miscarriage of artistic justice. Which, you know, honestly, I have some feelings about, frankly. I hope they got nothing for it, says Indigo. I know, right? Like, that's effed up. Right? And just Curve says, damn, all I have to say is, what the fuck? I know, right? Like, I don't like it. I don't like that at all. That is just deeply uncool. So anyways. So yeah, that's a thing that was on my mind. So let's add some nice warm blue books into here. Anyways. But yeah. Oh, my spicy takes, says Verlix. But legit thoughts. Yep. Thank you. Much appreciated. Anyways. Hello. How are you doing? Hope you're having a good Monday. Hope you are having a good one. It has been pointed out, is there such a thing as a good Monday? I mean, I hope you're having a day if it's not a good Monday. I hope at the very least you're having a neutral Monday. I think it is possible to have a good Monday. Bank holidays exist, assuming that you don't work in an industry where that requires you to be at work on bank holidays, which, to be fair, is actually a lot of people. Coming in late with the raid, says Verlix. Hello! Thank you very much for raiding. I do appreciate it. I'm just Curve says that guy must like money more than Mr. Krabs. Well, a lot of people who decide that their business is going to be like the buying, selling, and renting of property tend to like money a lot, so fair. And probably true. Personally, I do possess the pipe dream of home ownership, but definitely not landlordship. I would just like to lord my own house and leave it at that. I'd like to be able to paint a mural on my walls, and the only person who can complain is my partner, who I hope likes my art enough to want to see more of it. The thing about bank holidays is that capitalism learned they could make more money off of the people looking to do something with their day off, so fewer people get the day off. Oh, that's very true, Samantha. Very true indeed. Oh, there's the raid message from Felix. Thank you. You're stellar. Big art is just money laundering, says Indigo. It really is. It really is. It's art being traded back and forth by people who value art as an investment rather than just I think this picture is pretty. And I have a lot of not very nice thoughts and feelings about that kind of thing. As much as, like, if somebody legitimately just really loved one of my paintings and wanted to give me millions of pounds for it, I would be very flattered. I would be confused, but I would be very flattered. But on the other hand, like, is this worth that much money? I don't know. Who determines the values of things? I don't know that either. To me, it's worth, I don't know, whatever my hourly rate should be times however many hours it took me to paint the thing minus the amount of time I spent waffling and hand gesturing at chat. But yeah. And I mean, to that end, I tend not to sell originals very often because I honestly don't know how to value my own artwork in general. I do commissions, but that's kind of different. And I do have different rates for if it's a personal commission versus if it's a commercial commission. I did actually see one of my very first commercial works in the wild on Instagram the other day, which was really weird to me because I'm like, oh man, that design feels like very my old art to me now, because it's like probably about I want to say maybe like 14 years old now, which is kind of a lot. So looking at it now, I'm like, oh no. But, you know, people still like it, which is really nice. But, yeah, I don't really sell originals. I mostly sell prints of about this size and that kind of thing. You know, I don't really sell anything that costs more than £10 a pop, because I don't think that art should be the sole, you know, like, ownership of people who have too much money and use it for money laundering. I think that people who are as poor as I am should be able to afford cute things that they enjoy. So, you know, whatever. Anyways. God, yes, it is a topic and is bad, says Veralex. Silly says, I also have a lot of not very nice thoughts about that, lol. Yep, absolutely. Take it and run, says Manic Pixel. Listen, if it ever happens, I will be getting to do a lot of investing back in my fellow art community members, and I will. But yeah, Samantha says rich people will always find a way to start the public purse of money. Yay, we love that. What kind of cute art do you make? Says Bear, like subtly changing the topic. All right, la 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 la. Definitely not talking about NFTs, because I don't want to feel depressed. Anyways, here's a recent piece I painted, in case anyone is curious as to what my artwork looks like when it's done. This is a barista. Ho 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 ho. They are making a nice flat white or something at the haunted coffee shop and having a lovely time. They are friend shaped, and I heartily recommend any of the goods from the baked goods case there. They were baked this morning. And especially if you like a chewy ginger cookie, they've got chewy ginger cookies. They've got some little apple pie bars that are really, really good. And obviously the pumpkin pie is a seasonal classic. So there you go. Anyways, yes, a barista. So there you go. Silly says, whenever I try to talk to relatives about art, they're always more interested in if it's worth millions of monies instead of the time I put it. As if that's the most important thing about, that's one thing that really frustrates me, is when you're trying to talk about artwork and people are only interested in, saleability of it. I'm like, where's your sense of whimsy? You know? Whimsy. Come on. Clearly I'm more interested in whimsy. Because, look at him. He's just a little guy. Anyways. Right. Do I want to paint anything? What's a good color for Terry's trousers, I wonder? What's a good color for Terry's trousers? Maybe, ooh. Actually, no, I was gonna say sort of a warm sort of reddish orange color, and then I realized that's gonna blend in too much with the chair. So I'm wondering actually maybe if I do slightly a bluish green or a greenish blue might be a vibe. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick up a good amount of our blue. And then I'm going to add like a whisper of green to it. That'll be a nice color for some trousers, I think. So let's do that. Okay. How's this color? Ooh, it's pretty. That's a very pretty. Oh, this is a color that doesn't know what this color doesn't know what color it is, which is so much fun. It is like 5 colors at once, and it looks like 5 colors at once, and I love that. Anyways. Right. Let's add some color to Terry's trousers. Ooh. Very handsome, if I do say so myself. He is, even when he's just lounging around at home, he is a well-dressed little forg, I think. His little knees. Not getting trouser color on the book jacket by mistake. Priceless. There we go. Yeah, this is a nice color. It's turned into kind of like a grayish green, I think, or a greenish gray. I don't know. It's very handsome. What can I say? He's a stylish boy. There we go. Fashion! He's fashion. He's the most forg that anyone has ever forged. Forg Wazard, says Cecily. Yes. Hell yeah. He's very handsome, says Cecily. Aw, thank you. He's, I'm not gonna paint it on, but he's blushing. Anywho. If Terry blushes, does it just go more green? I don't actually know. Anywho. Y'all, I've just seen the time. And I need to steam some vegetables and potatoes and other gubbins for my din-dins. So I think I'm gonna finish for today now. Because otherwise I'll just keep going all night. And I need to feed us. So, yeah. But thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out. It's been very, very fun. Thank you indeed also to Silly and to Manic Pixel for the raids. I very much appreciate y'all. I very much appreciate everyone who's hung out, followed, subbed, chatted, lurked, popped in for 5 seconds, realized this isn't where I intended to be, and then dipped. You're all wonderful. Thank you. He's running from the law ever since they made forgery illegal. Oh no. Oh no. I must protect my little forg. He's just a little buddy. He just wants to go on cozy little adventures and have a nice little time. Oh heck. Oh shoot. Oh pretzels. Anyways, let me have a little look-see and see who else is online that we can go say hello to. Or maybe someone we haven't rated in a little while. Maybe someone we've never rated at all. I don't know. Who's doing some interesting stuff? Who's doing some things? Okay, yeah. Okay. One moment, everybody. I'm just going to check and make sure that the person that I may be rating isn't just about to end, because that would be real embarrassing. Please don't be just finishing. Please do not be just finishing. Fingers crossed, they ain't just finishing. No, I don't think they're just finishing. Okay. Okay. Ooh! Hell yeah! Okay, they're doing some cool sketches as well. We're going to go raid Ike, who is doing streaming as well. So that's very cool. I'm going to pop a generic raid message in the chat. If I can type while speaking at the same time, that would be super, super cool. I'm not very good at it. Let's get seasonal with a little pumpkin ghost emote. If you have the emotes, feel free to grab the emote. If you don't have the emotes, you can just say generic raid message. Feel free to append whatever cool emotes you have. Or you can just say generic raid message. It's all good. I will be back on Thursday, continuing and or finishing this painting. Whomst knows at this point. Things seem to take a long time for me these days because I like chatting. No, that's okay. Anyways, but yeah, thank y'all for hanging out. It's been very, very, very fun. Thank y'all for all of the good fun stuff, and I hope to see you again soon. I'll be back on Thursday. In the meantime, have a good rest of your week. Thank you, thank you. I'm gonna say goodbye before it kicks me out. So, goodbye everyone. Thank you, and good night. Much love.